What's up, guys? Today we have a 2020 Hyundai Palisade. We are super excited to show you. This is a banger of an SUV. It is an absolute hit. Dealers are marking up the prices on it, just like how they marked up the new Supra, because it is so popular, yet it is kind of limited. So if you are interested in an SUV, I highly recommend looking into this. We're going to show you all of its neat features. It has insane value, and we'll show you why in just a bit. Insane looks. This is brand new for the 2020 model year. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Big thanks to College Park Hyundai for lending us this vehicle for this review today. So I mentioned earlier that Hyundai has insane value. One of the main reasons is because unlike luxury car brands like BMW or Audi, they don't have individual options. Instead, they stack up the options with different trims. This one is a limited trim, so it comes stacked with options, even though it is, you know, a low base price. It has heated and ventilated leather seating surfaces, and its MSRP is $45,000. That is insane. Some BMWs that start at $70,000, like the 440i, do not come standard with leather seats. Now that is insane, and that is why this car has insane value. So now that we're at the front of this insane looking SUV, I just wanted to point out a few things that I really like. So first off, right off the bat, I really don't know what to say, like how this thing looks as a whole. We'll show you some more shots and B-roll of it. I want to say it's blocky, but it also has crazy kind of body lines going through the sides especially. It has this really cool grille outline. Normally in a grille outline, you'll have maybe a thin line of chrome, but this gets super thick at the bottom here. It looks really cool. And the grille as a whole, you know, it's decent looking. Hyundai grills share this kind of triangular pattern, which I really like. Hyundai does really good with being consistent with a lot of things throughout their specific models and just throughout their whole brand as a whole. I really like that. Moving along, another really cool feature is the lights. The lights are insane on this. I really like how the running lights start from up here and then they go down and they literally match up just through this body panel, like almost like it's under it, but you just can't see it, and it just kind of goes through, and it gives this a really clean look. Another thing I really like are these LED lights, because it says full LED system Hyundai, and it kind of has the Hyundai badge there. I think it's really neat. I like how they're standing up too. If you just look at it, these lights are also huge. Normally on cars, they're you know, it's more condensed, but this whole area is big, and then it also has this area up top here. So I just thought that was very interesting to note. Other things to note about the front is you do have a nice chrome strip down here. It's like extra shiny chrome here, and then less shiny kind of chrome plastic type deal here that matches with the grille. That's kind of interesting. You do have your safety feature monitor sensor right here, but besides that, really good looking front, really masculine looking. Now I wanted to talk about just a bit more on these lights, because man, they are stunning. First off, as soon as you turn on these running LED lights, they are insanely bright. I mean, I was astonished when it is in broad daylight right now, and they are seriously bright, and they're even picking up on camera really well, which is very impressive. Another thing, these blinkers, I like how they're kind of separated by these little lines. Although it's one continuous kind of light, it gives it this nice sectioned off view, which is really cool. And again, with these lights on, you can see how this travels down and meets through this body panel here of this beautiful color. But man, these lights are awesome. Now that we're at the side of this beautiful Hyundai Palisade, you can get a really good look at the steel graphite color. It really does embody graphite. It has these nice metal flakes in it that really glimmer in the sun. I hope that picks up on camera. Moving down here, you have these simple multi-spoke chrome rims. I think it really complements it because it's more of a clean, simple design, and the lines on this car are really masculine and kind of a little bit dramatic, so that balances out well. If these rims were on something like a Denali, where it's more of a simple look, then it wouldn't look as good, because you want more of a contrast between your rims and the body lines and the overall look of the car. Looking at these body lines here on the side, I really like the wheel arch one. It wraps really well around. It gives it a nice masculine look when you have wheel arch body lines. And then again, you have some simple ones going through the side. Again, very strong creasing. We found this common on the Hyundai Sonata we just reviewed, but the creasing on the body lines is really strong, and it gives it a really cool dramatic look, which I like a lot. You have really beefy door handles, similar to ones that would be on a truck. and then you also have this nice chrome strip here, and it comes along here, stops, but the one on top comes all the way down to the side, and it kind of wraps around a little bit and then stops again. Kind of an interesting look. At first I didn't like it, but it's kind of grown on me. So because this is an SUV, it does have more of a blockier shape, which I really like because it complements the body lines really well. Up here, normally in a sedan, you'd have a sloping roofline down, but I like how in this Palisade, it slopes slightly up into this almost duck lip spoiler on the top, which is really nice. You do have your side mirror here for extra visibility, looking out of your 3/4 when you're driving. And again, this body line here, cleanly fits into this taillight. I really like that. I mean, this is a low-key body line. It's not too visible, but man, does it just go in this back taillight very nicely. This taillight, again, has that full LED system badge we saw on the headlights. I think that's kind of neat that Hyundai does that, kind of a flex. And besides that, fitting again with the rectangular, cubic kind of shape of this car. These taillights, look at them, they're just cubes. Cubes right here, and then rectangulars inside. Everything is blocky and masculine in this car, and it's good that Hyundai kind of continued along and was very consistent with that. Moving along to the side here, this has no lighting. You think it would be lighting. It almost looks like lined paper because it has this white look and then dots with lines like you would write on. I don't know why they included it. I don't think it serves a purpose too much, but man, does it look really sick because it gives this cool contrast between the red and the white here versus just if you had the normal body color here. I really like that. At the back here, you have a better look at these taillights in the back and this kind of white lined paper, as I mentioned earlier. Again, continuing along with the blockiness is this reflector down here. Now moving along, you have this nice kind of elegant looking chrome strip at the bottom and some weird looking exhausts. They're like split between. They're like dual, but only on one side, and they have like this weird, parallelogram shape. I don't really know. Kind of unique though, and I like the fact that they did it unique. Now, opening up the back for the trunk, it's a kind of a slow release, and it's kind of a slow down, but you have 18 cubic feet of storage with all the seats folded up. Second and third row seats are powered down, and only the third row is powered up. So I'll show you now putting them down. A little bit slow moving, as I said before, but now you have 46 cubic feet of storage. And if you go one more and put those two down, you now have 86 cubic feet of storage. So really good storage room. And the fact that you can roll these back up, that is a feature found on very expensive cars. I'm not going to take the time to just roll them up. But overall, a great looking back. I really like the taillights. It's really unique with that kind of paper look to the side of them that kind of comes up here. But again, good versatility, good storage, and good features for this price. Under the hood of this Palisade, you'll find a 3.8 liter V6 making a hefty 291 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. One interesting thing to note is that Hyundai absolutely kills the game in warranties. They offer a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty on this car standard. And it is across their whole lineup. It is insane. No other car company competes. I even know other car companies offer options to get a better warranty, and it only increases it like 2 years. So Hyundai absolutely destroys the game with their warranties, and they are definitely really killing the game with their new cars in 2020 as well.
Right, looking here at the interior, honestly, this blew me away. I knew the Palisade was going to have a nice interior, but I was not expecting anything like this. First of all, it starts before you even get in the car. Your key fob is really hefty. This has to be one of the heaviest key fobs I've ever felt, and it just is very, very nice, high quality, rubberized with metal. It's just very, very strange. From a Hyundai, this is incredibly impressive. Your seats, you have these almost quilted seats. They look very, very nice. Sitting in them, they feel very comfortable. They're heated and ventilated. I'm just blown away. These seats look nicer than probably any seat in any other car we've reviewed this year in 2020 so far. Just looking ahead of you, you have these crystal clear screens. They are surrounded in piano black, but you're not really touching up there, so that's not a huge concern. You do have soft touch up here on your dash. You have this nice metal line that runs all the way down, and you have this strange material right here. I'm not sure what to call it, but it's like these little diamonds. I think it looks really, really neat. You have a nice padded leather armrest. Again, you have that stitching just like you see in your seat on your side door. You also have more of that strange diamond material right there. You also have these really cool speaker grills. These speaker grills just look, they're very textured, designed. I'm not sure how to describe it. The interior of this vehicle just will blow you away and completely change what you think a Hyundai is. Let's start with your center gauge here. This looks very nice. They replicated physical dials so nicely. It's just large, it's clear, it's snappy. It's a very nice display. Very easy to read. It's controlled using this switch. You can control sort of just some different information for your car to show you. If you saw our Hyundai Sonata review, you would know that we are a big fan of the drive mode selector in these vehicles, because when you change your drive mode, there are just these very dramatic, showman-like transitions, and I really like them. Clearly a lot of work went into them. They're very nice to look at. Now, there is a heads-up display in this vehicle. I'm going to attempt to show you it. I'm not sure if the GoPro is capable of picking it up, but there's a little road with the speed in it ahead. Maybe you can see it. I think I got it there for a second, but that is a very useful feature just for seeing how fast you're going and keeping it right in your line of sight. Just to give you an idea of how things look out this car, I'm holding the camera to my eyes right now. You can see visibility is pretty good. Just looking around here, your A-pillars, pretty thick and goes far forward, but it's not terrible for a vehicle of this size. Your dashboard raises up very high. You have a very commanding view of the road, and it almost feels like a command center. Very neat look though, very nice driver's area. I did mention the key felt really nice earlier. Here's sort of what it looks like. Hopefully we can get it to focus. Very nice key though. Definitely a positive aspect of this car. Feels like it's from a much more expensive vehicle. Now looking around, let's talk about just sort of your center stack right here. You have this big screen. So something that's kind of cool is you have these widgets here, and you can change what each of these are. So you can go edit home widgets, and you can change what each one is. So that is a nice bit of customization. Very cool. You can see swiping. It's just nice and quick. This does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so very nice to see that. There's not too much else to say about this vehicle right here. Something that is sort of neat is this driving info. If you saw our Sonata review, it gives you information about your speed distribution, acceleration, deceleration. Seems like a bit overkill for a vehicle like this, but you know what? It's cool that they have it. Moving down from that, these air vents are very nicely trimmed. I like this material they're trimmed in. They feel very high quality, very nice to slide. Your knobs are so textured. I like the texturing they put on these. And you have these nice metal buttons down here. Look at this, no blank switches. That is such a rare, nice sight to see. It's very, very cool. If I could direct your attention to the steering wheel real quick, this is a heated steering wheel. It has some nice perforation here. You have this nice sort of metal down here that kind of mimics the grill a bit and how it looks, the bottom of the grill. But something that I kind of noticed about it is it has paddle shifters. We are in a ridiculous world where a full-size Hyundai SUV has paddle shifters. Just sort of something interesting to note. Let's continue looking at our center area here. You have very easy to see climate controls, again with this nice texturing on your knobs. You have a very clear screen right here, very easy to use, very user intuitive. I really like that. If we move down from here, you have your drive mode selector. This knob does feel a little bit loose. I can wobble that a bit. So I don't know if that's this car in particular, but that is something to note. This does have your auto start stop. You have all sorts of cameras on this vehicle. Then you have your transmission selector here. Kind of interesting how they did it with the buttons. If you saw our Sonata review, Cole noted that he likes the Honda more. I'm going to agree with him on that because in Honda they each have different shapes and textures, so you know what you are doing. Here you can't really hit unless you look. But one thing I do like about this is they do make a nice little sound depending on which gear you're in. So if you just listen. Something very cool about reverse is that when you go into reverse, the mirrors will actually tilt down to show what's behind you. So I'm going to shift into reverse right now, and you can see they are tilting down to give you a better view of what's behind you. Put the vehicle back in park. Now that brings up your camera system. Let's talk about your camera system a bit. You can see if I shift into drive, we have our front cameras available here. It's very easy to snap from camera to camera. You can see it gives you a very nice update about where the car is going. You have that very nice 360 camera, which is going to be very helpful for parking a vehicle of this size. So let's shift this back into park. If we move down, you have your heated and cooled seats along with your heated steering wheel control. Then you have this massive storage space right here. And something sort of interesting about this is just how quick it runs away. You push and it just runs away. It scurries away. In here you have a USB-A port. You also have these cup holders, which these are very aggressive. But this is actually a really, really cool design. Let's say you want to use this as a big bin. There you go, it's a big bin. But you want cup holders, you push this, now you have cup holders. That is an incredibly cool feature. I don't know if I've seen this in any other vehicle. This is an incredible use of space. Very aggressive cup holders. Everyone praised, I forget the name of it, the last large Subaru SUV for all the cup holders it had, but this is cup holder innovation right here. This is something new and exciting. Moving back from that, you have a nice deep center storage area right here. A little removable bin. To give you an idea, I can fit probably my arm and wrist in there. You also have a nice USB-A port and 12-volt outlet for a cigarette lighter. Then you also just have this nice trim right here, nice leather on the sides, and down here you have a massive storage area under the center. That is just insane. That is a very, very useful storage space. Looking up, you have a sunroof right here. We're going to take a look at the sunroof in the back too, but this one right here is manual. It's very nice and large, and just the headroom in this vehicle is insane. As I'm sitting here, I'm just thinking about the headroom I have is insane. I also want to point out one material to you I did not point out earlier. This flaky material here looks very nice. It's kind of hard to see unless you get up close, but it runs around the side to the doors. Just something I want to point out real quick is this airbag tag right here is in leather. Normally it's just like a crappy piece of white plastic or paper or whatever, but here it is in nice leather with airbag stamped in it. Just gives you an idea of the attention and detail in this vehicle. Now here we are in the back of the Palisade, and this is going to matter a lot to a lot of buyers. So first of all, your seats back here are very comfy. These are captain's chairs. They have very nice design to them. You can see that it's not just a flat bench or whatever. There's a lot of depth, texturing, different types of leather, perforations, stitches, and you have more of this diamond quilt sword material right here. It's a very nice look. Your armrests are a little small, a little on the firmer side, but again, this is where your kids are going to be, so you don't really care when you're buying, do you? Your doors are very, very wide, and they have 2 cup holders in them. So you have 2 cup holders so your kids can drink 2 juice boxes at once. Now, over to the side also, you have a manual peasant blocker, which you can put up. And then you also have a nice illuminated window switch, which is very nice. I forgot to mention up front, the window switches in here do have nice metal tips to them. I really do like that touch. You have more of this quilting material on the doors, and a lot of the materials from the front carry on into the back, like that black speckly material and that strange gray material from the middle. Now, here's a really cool thing. I was talking about the seats, heated and ventilated seats in the rear. That is unheard of. To have heated and ventilated seats in the second row is just bonkers. I don't even know many luxury cars that have that. So that is just absolutely insane. You have a lot of controls right here for your rear climate, and you also have a full-size power outlet. Something that's really cool is that both these seats have USB-A outlets sticking out of them, so your kids can charge all of their devices back here. While looking out, this beautiful sunroof up top, this thing is huge. It goes back to the 3rd row. That is just such a cool touch. Really, the back of this vehicle is perfect for families. Very neat, very good design. Here we are in the 3rd row of the Palisade, and I actually fit. I'm 6 feet tall, and my knees are touching this seat right here, but it's not terrible. I could ride here for less than an hour. I do have enough room that I could at least survive. You do get some amenities back here. You have a USB-A outlet, and you also have these buttons right here to power fold these seats. You might be asking, why would a seat have a button right next to it to fold it? Well, the answer is, if you're in the second row coming back and these seats were previously folded, you don't have to walk all the way around to the back to fold them back up. You can actually just do it from here, and that is a very useful feature. You have two square cup holders right here for your juice boxes, and then you also have a pretty nice slanted window right here. In terms of seat comfort, the seats back here are not as comfy as these ones, but they will still do. You do see you do have some of that quilting back here, even all the way in the third row. Let's talk about your roof a little before we wrap this up. It is very plush. You can actually press into it. It's very soft, very plush. I'd imagine that has to do something with noise cancellation probably. Getting into the third row, while I'm thinking about it, is actually very easy. You can move in and out of the third row by moving this seat forward with the push of one button. You can see it's very fast. It goes right away, and you have easy access to get out. So a very well-designed third row. You're not going to want to put tall people back here for long, but it is certainly doable. So that's it for this review of the 2020 Hyundai Palisade Limited Trim. This is an incredible vehicle. At less than 50 grand, somewhere closer to 45, this is just an incredible value. I mean, you're getting all those advanced safety systems, you're getting these very imposing, powerful looks, and that interior is just, this car could be 20 grand more and it would still be a value deal. So that's it for this review, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. And a big thanks to College Park Hyundai for letting us review this car. Thank you so much, folks. We'll see you in next week's video.